So you've had me with the wrong grip the whole time.
Sorry about that. Have a nice flight back to New York.
Hey.
Today they faced the Giants, once masters of late-season football. The Giants will try to avoid a losing season and in the process spoil Houston's plans for Christmas week.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Houston Oilers versus the New York Giants.
For Houston, conditions not as bad as last week in Cleveland, but it is a 36-degree overcast day at Giants Stadium. The winds from the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Later on, that could be a factor to Warren Moon and his run-and-shoot offense. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Paul McGuire. And as detailed earlier on NFL Live, at stake for Houston today, if they can win this afternoon, they then would get a bye in the first week of the playoffs and also home field advantage in the divisional playoffs. And Paul, and talking with various Oiler players, they feel that that is imperative.
Warren Moon said there's some other things that are a factor, too. Warren Moon will be able to rest his arm. Lee Williams, coming off of a broken arm, will be able to rest his arm. And all-pro tackle Ray Childress, who last week broke a rib, will be able to rest for at least 3 weeks, and that is very good news. But, Marv, there's some other things that are at stake here. They want to be able to prove to the fans that they can win 2 weeks in a row in cold weather. That's important to them. The other thing is 5-3 record, if they win, will be the best on-the-road record they've had in the last 11 years.
And, Paul, for the Giants in the finale of this deeply disappointing season, if the Giants don't play well today, or if the fans perceive that they're phoning it in, it may well get ugly. And we could hear early chants of Ray must go.
Well, I think Ray is going to be here. I don't think there's any problem with that at all. But there has some people who have upset the Giants, and that is the Redskins saying that they thought they gave up last week. And then Lawrence Taylor said he thought in Philadelphia not only did the team give up, but the coaching staff did also.
And the Giants won the toss, and they will receive the kick from Del Greco. And Lewis Tillman will stay right there, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And here is Phil Simms, who has taken over for the injured Jeff Hostetler. The offensive line has had its difficulties. Last week they gave up 4 sacks, and the Giants did not run very well. Rodney Hampton and Maurice Carthon are the running backs. The receivers Ingram, Baker, and Cross. Giants with a number of dropped passes last week. Phil Simms, the victim of 7 drops, including one by a wide-open Odessa Turner, which would have been a touchdown. Here's Hampton spinning out to the 24-yard line. And here's a look at the Houston front 7. With Ray Childress in the lineup, about as good as there is, although Lee Williams, not a bad substitution.
And here's another guy I think is all-pro.
And the secondary has played well. Chris Dishman making it all-pro for the first time. He and Johnson at the corners. McDowell and Orlando are the safety men. It is a 2nd down and 5 at the 25. Crowd reacting to the movement. No flag thrown. And the pass caught by the tight end, Howard Cross. Chris Dishman had the wraps around Cross, a 24-yard pass play. Howard Cross last week dropped 3 passes, but he catches his first attempt.
Here's a situation when you look at Simms going down the middle of the field, and you see the defensive secondary just waiting. Watch this. They're just standing there waiting on the play. Number 25, the man downfield, is Bubba McDowell, who just waited instead of going for the ball, let the receiver catch it.
It's a 1st down at midfield. We're just underway at Giant Stadium. The acceleration by Hampton. And he gets to the 47-yard line. Met by Sean Jones. Rodney Hampton, a native of Houston. Attended Kashmere High School in Houston. And coming into today, 81 yards away from the 1,000-yard mark. First-round draft pick out of Georgia last season.
You know, that's when Hampton, if he gets 1,000 yards, I know he would love to do that, but it's a great accomplishment for the offensive line. They take credit in it.
The ball spotted at the 48. Second down and 7.
Bart Oates thinks there's something on the ball, like to have the ball changed. There's not enough air in it.
Well, isn't that like an attorney? Bart Oates
Well, he's all pro.
stirring it up. Yes, voted to the Pro Bowl for the second straight year. The only Giant to make it. He's the backup to Jay Hilgenberg of the Chicago Bears, and he'll eventually return to his off-season job of practicing law, and he said he's not sure whether he'll return to football next season.
I don't know if he could have that many cases. They're going to pay him that kind of money. He'll be back.
Now we're set to go. Bart satisfied with the ball. Second down and 7. Off the play action. Sims with the dump off to Hampton. And looks to be shy of the first down. Lamar Lathan, who was a question mark because of the flu, in on the tackle, along with another Pro Bowler, Al Smith.
Al Smith made a super play. He just throws the tight end out of the way Howard Cross and then makes the play and saves the first down. Now it's 3rd and 1. This was not the intended receiver, Hampton, but Phil Simms had no place to throw the ball, so he dumped it off.
And now William Roberts reports in as an eligible receiver. Roberts, the left guard, shifting over to a double tight end position. It's a 3rd down and 1 at the 42. It is Hampton to the outside, and he has the first down. Tripped up by the free safety, Bo Orlando. Now, last Sunday, the Giants lost in Washington for their 3rd straight defeat, and they were very upset after the game. Certainly the coaching staff was, because it was a very sloppy performance. Host of missed tackles and drop passes and penalties. Ray Handley in a very difficult position and taking over for Bill Parcells. See Lamar Lathan shaken up. It has not been a pleasant experience, starting with the Hostetler-Sims affair, and then mishandled several situations involving the media, which I certainly think affected the public perception of Ray Handley. I thought he could have easily deflected a couple of those incidents.
Yeah, he could have. You know, and when you talk to some of the players yesterday, you know, they just like to. Some of them would like to get out of here, and I can understand it. It's the last game of the season, and Ray Handley knows that. He's trying to keep this team together and win their last game. But Mark Collins yesterday told us that one thing about this game. He said playing against his defense, it's important to him. But he also said that during the course of this game today, he said, my car will not be running in the parking lot. And I think that's a great line.
All right, Lamar Lathan is being checked out. We mentioned he was a question mark coming in because of the flu, and Lathan may be headed off the field. We'll take a timeout. His hip, he's been replaced by Eric Fares. Here's another look at it.
Well, look at 57 coming in. Here's Lathan. Now, I don't know. He doesn't fall on his hip, but he falls on his knees. Now, he might have jammed it, but he got up, and he right away grabs his left side of his body, his hip, and that's what they're looking at on the sideline.
Lathan, a first-round draft pick last year, made it back from shoulder surgery. That's Eric Fares, who's come on for Lathan. A dramatic turnaround in his second year in the NFL for Lamar Lathan. First down for the Giants at the 39. Change of direction, but Hampton lost on the play. William Fuller, another of the Houston Oilers' 8 Pro Bowlers, making the stop. And what a season it's been for Fuller. 14 sacks for the man they call the Fuller Rushman.
All right, Cross is number 87, and he's trying to cut him. And look what Fuller does. He gets into the backfield, the penetration. Now he's got Hampton by the leg and just waiting for friends, and he still goes down anyway by himself. He brings him down.
4.5 minutes gone by in this first quarter. This is the first series of the game. The Giants with the ball, second down and 10 from the 39. Sims over the middle, able to complete again. Hampton broke a tackle. Reaching out close to the marker. Stopped by McDowell and Smith.
When you have a back like Hampton coming out of the backfield and absolutely nobody covering him, watch 27 Hampton. He's going to circle out of the backfield. Now watch when he goes underneath. Look at the linebackers. Look at how deep they are. Al Smith is 54. And then there's a missed tackle right there, which would have saved the first down. But Hampton, when you give him that much room, he's going to pick up at least 6 yards.
Phil Simms opening 3 for 3. Phil Simms handling a very difficult situation in such a classy manner. Many players in his position would have lashed out, dropped hints, which would have made a sensitive issue even worse. Big hole for Hampton. Full Orlando making the stop as Rodney Hampton goes for 14. So 5 carries, 25 yards for Hampton.
Cross and Carthen both get excellent blocks. To the right of your screen, look at number 44, Carthen. Now, there's the guard pulls out to the inside, and that's Moore, number 60. He makes the first block, and then Carthen and Cross get blocks, and then down the field they go for a first down. Now they're inside the 17-yard line, almost to the 16.
The report on Lamar Lathan, a pulled rib muscle. He may return. First down at the 16. Hampton again. Getting down to the 10, Johnny Meads, the outside linebacker, getting the reps on Rodney Hampton.
They were kind of worried about the Giants going through the motions in this ball game. So far, the Oilers are going through the motions.
It's a 2nd and 4 at the 10 on the 10th play of the drive. Well, the Houston Oilers with quite a bit at stake here today. They've already clinched the AFC Central title, but as we mentioned earlier, need a victory to clinch a first week bye in the playoffs as well as home field advantage. And a timeout has been called by the Giants.
That's their first game timeout.
So when we come back, it'll be a 2nd down and 4 at the 10th play of the drive is coming up. The Giants have controlled the ball over the first 7 minutes, and apparently it was Houston that called that timeout, not the Giants. They had 12 men on the field.
And last week in Cleveland on a punt situation, they had 14 guys on the field. It's called loading up.
Nice if you can get away with it. Here's Hampton once again. A short pickup for Rodney Hampton. We mentioned Bill Parcells earlier. Nice to see Bill back in action, coming back strong from the angioplasty procedure. Bill back in the studio. Began working out this week. Had the procedure on Monday, so he's back getting on everyone's nerves in the studio. Paul, nothing's changed.
No, but I just keep thinking Costas does it to everybody, doesn't he? You got me, you got Bill.
Bitter.
Well, Bobby, he's a temperamental little guy.
It's a 3rd down and 1 at the 7. That's Cross in motion. Second back coming through. Hampton has the first down. Hit down by Al Smith. It has been all Rodney Hampton here in the first quarter. Phil Simms attempting 3 passes, completing all 3 for 40 yards.
And they're trying to get Rodney Hampton his 1,000 yards before the half. That was a great play by Hampton. He just goes up over the top, because if he'd have gone down low through the hole, might not have made it. Now, the Giants, they've had 5 first down plays so far. All of them have been runs. This is their 6th.
It is a 1st and goal at the 5. Here's Hampton. Well, we're down to 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and the Giants have had the ball throughout. Lamar Lathan heading back to the locker room with that pulled rib muscle injury.
I just think if Hampton would have run to his left with Oates blocking, watch the left-hand side. If he stays left now, he might have scored a touchdown. Even though Oates is on the ground, he made the play there, and Hampton cut back right into the heart of the defense.
It is a 2nd and goal at the 2. Baker to the right, Ingram in the slot to the right. It is Hampton for the touchdown. Rodney Hampton with his 10th touchdown of the season, and the Giants with a 6-0 lead.
He goes right over the guard and the tackle, but look where he goes. Bart Oates, who's the all-pro, Eric Moore, number 60, the right guard, and Elliott, number 76, signals touchdown.
13 plays, 80 yards, and they consume 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Here's Matt Barr with the backup quarterback, Matt Cavanaugh, holding. It's the Giants 7 and Houston nothing. We'll be back with the Giants. Rodney Hampton engineering that long drive. The kickoff from Barr, handled by Pat Coleman. And he is run out of bounds by Adrian White. So the Oilers touching the ball for the first time, and we have 5.5 remaining in the first quarter as Warren Moon leads the offense onto the field. The offensive line, and they have played exceptionally well. Maggs, Munchak, Matthews, Dawson, and Williams. Munchak and Matthews going to the Pro Bowl. Pinkett is the running back, and the Fab Four, Jeffries, Hill, Gibbons, and Duncan. Let's see how the Giants do against the run and shoot. 81 Gibbons in motion. And Moon able to complete on first down has Drew Hill for his 84th catch of the season. Renee Thompson made the stop, and that's good for a 16-yard pickup.
First down.
The Giants started out in a dime, which is 6 defensive backs.
There is a look at the configuration with Dorsey, Howard, Marshall up front, and the 6 backs with Roger Brown and Renee Thompson coming on, joining the regular 4, Collins, Jackson, Guyton, and Williams. And it's to the ground. Alan Pinkett, who's played the first half last week against Cleveland, and Houston offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride then making the switch to Lorenzo White. We asked him about it. He said because of the field conditions, Pinkett was not able to take advantage of his cutting and slashing moves in the snow in Cleveland, so he went to right. There's Kevin Gilbride, who is a local product. He was head coach at Southern Connecticut State. Had a successful run in the Canadian Football League, and now he is the man running the Oiler run and shoot. Second down and 5 from midfield. Moon off the pump, throws the bullet. It is incomplete. Pass intended for Ernest Gibbons.
There's a time that Moon could have run with the ball. Lawrence Taylor did not start this ball game, and we were told that he sparingly will be playing. And the interesting thing about Lawrence, he puts himself in the ball game, which I didn't realize because, of course, we at NBC don't do many of the Giants games. But there's Lawrence there, and if he feels like they're not doing very well and he needs to pick him up, he'll go in, and he doesn't even have to tell the coaching staff, which I think is nice.
Nice for Lawrence.
I don't think I'll play today.
There is the feeling he might see limited action out with that sprained left knee. It's a 3rd down and 5. And Moon incomplete and picked off through the hands of Jeffries. And the interception for Carl Banks. And let's see, is it being waved off? Giants claim that Banks had it.
This will be replayed. The officials are right on target. It says the ball hit the ground. I don't see how Jeffries misses the ball. The ball hits him right in the hands. Here he comes across the middle. You want to get to 100, you need 4. Watch this. Now, here's Banks. Now, does the ball hit the ground? Yes, it does. The ball, from there, you can see the back. But on the side, the ball is going to hit the ground. 58 will be Banks. Out of Jeffries, into Banks, and look to the left. There it is. It bounces off the ground. Good call.
And it is a punting situation. So the Giants, who have had a number of good first quarters, get off to the fast start. Timeout has been called once again by Houston. And Warren Moon in recent games has not been able to get going early.
On the offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
That's her 2nd timeout in the first quarter.
Greg Montgomery getting set to punt, and he now drops back to his 36-yard line with just under 4 minutes remaining in this first quarter, and the Oilers trail the Giants by the score of 7-0. There's Dave Meggett, Jim Eddy, the Houston defensive coordinator, telling us last night that Meggett scares the Oilers to death because of his his quickness, and he said, we haven't faced anyone quite like Dave Meggett.
Actually, the Oilers there were penalized 5 yards, so if it was delay a game, they will not lose the timeout.
That was nearly blocked. Meggett let it fly by, and it carries into the end zone. So the Giants back to work from the 20 and a 54-yard punt. And Lawrence Taylor frustrated that Banks did not get the interception. It was lead on the Houston Oilers. And as we mentioned, the Giants have been a very effective first quarter team. 81 points in the first quarter this year. The opposition with only 24. And here's Maurice Carthon with a rare carry. That is only his 31st carry of the season, tripped up by William Fuller.
You know, when we went to break, you did mention something about Houston. Now, we've done them 5 or 6 times this year. In the first 2 series of downs, it just seems like the Houston Oilers are either backed up or they start out very slow. They did it against Cleveland a week ago, and all of a sudden they look at things. And Moon says, you know, it puts us in a hole, especially when we're away. But we've got a good enough team to overcome it.
Giants with a 2nd down and 4 from their 26. Hampton to the 29-yard line. Ray Handley was telling us yesterday that he has come to grips with the fact that the players just have not responded to his personality. He's been trying to run Bill Parcells' system with his own type personality. He said he should have been more demanding, more forceful.
Well, the other thing, too, is that people say that he is very placid. He just stands there. He doesn't get excited. Yes, he does. He said, but I don't get excited like coaches do for a long period of time. He said, I'm excited, but then I'm thinking about what I have to do next.
3rd down and 1 for the Giants from the 29. As Cross in motion. Hampton able to squirm for the 1st down. Well, Handley also telling us that he felt that he should have disassociated himself from the offense. I thought this was a curious point, because then he felt the defense would have considered him more as the overall head coach. He said he doesn't feel the defense has responded to him as coach of the entire ball club, and he did make it clear that he will bring in an offensive coordinator next season.
He would have done it last year, but he didn't have the time to do it. I mean, it takes some time to get your offensive coordinator, and you're still going to run Handley's offense. I mean, there's no question about that, but they teach a guy that.
All right, 1st down from the 31, and again Carthon. Short pickup. McDowell and Meads make the stop, and you can hear the reaction from the crowd as they respond to the play call. Gerard Bunch, a rookie from Michigan, will see some action today. Giants will be taking a look at several young players. Bunch is one, and Corey Miller, the rookie out of South Carolina, who we have already seen, also figures to get quite a bit of playing time.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're still in the 1st quarter. They're winning the Giants 7-0, and they run a running play and get booed. A tough crowd.
It's a 2nd down and 8 at the 33. Carthon in motion. Hampton trying to pick his way, and again the Giants hear it from the crowd as he's driven back by Doug Smith and Eric Fairs. Well, I think this booing is a residue from reacting to the entire season. I think you got to forget the scoreboard here today, unless the Giants should take command by a healthy margin. This is I think this is response for the entire year.
It really is, and I agree with you. Now, in this last play, you're going to see an arm being caught inside the face mask. Now, Hampton is running the ball. Smith is 99, the defensive tackle. And Smith now has Hampton, and look at it's not a face mask because he didn't grab it, but he's got his arm caught in there and he can't get it out. That's the end of the quarter, but there is no face mask penalty.
So the first quarter has come to a close with the score: the Giants 7 and Houston nothing. He, in his second season as head man of the Oilers, he has just seen his club had the football for a mere 1 minute and 52 seconds in the first quarter.
And a mere 4 plays. The Giants have had it for 18 plays. And the score is 7-0 Giants.
Foot out and 6. Look out. The snap flying by Sims, and it's covered up by Fuller. The Oilers have recovered.
One of the things that they're booing, not only did the ball go by Sims, but his attempt to go back and get it. I mean, he's not going to get hurt. He goes back and Fuller's there. Watch the attempt by Sims to go for the ball. It just looked like Bart Oates that time centered the ball as he was moving. If we go back and see it again. Now Fuller can get up and run. When he falls down, Sims touches him on the ground. Watch, Bart Oates is moving when the ball is snapped. Now Sims going back at the ball kind of reaches down. That's kind of a sick attempt. And then when Fuller goes down a second time, Sims touches him, so he is down at that point.
Are you saying lack of aggression on the part of Phil Sims?
I'm saying he didn't go after the ball.
It is a first down at the 15 as the Oilers take over. And Pinkett had the hole, and then it closed. A short pickup. Leonard Marshall, Eric Howard combining to make the stop on Alan Pinkett in his 6th season out of Notre Dame. And another Houston player is down. Doug Dawson, the right guard, holding his left knee.
This is incredible. I mean, Houston, the guys are dropping like crazy. They've got to win this game now to get a bye, to get some time off, to get some rest. Doug Dawson is the right guard. Now watch when Pinkett comes in. Does he fall on him? There's Pinkett. And the defensive lineman, Howard, number 74, also falls in there. It's an awful lot of weight.
So earlier we saw Lamar Lathan head back to the locker room for x-rays of a pulled rib muscle, and now Doug Dawson is down. Will be Bart Oates, who had that snap fly by Phil Sims. Was in a fine conversation, Paul, with himself.
Yeah, I guess lawyers do that. He's just saying, but there's a reason why he's doing that. Now, when we take a look at Bart Oates on the center, now watch what he does. Watch his left arm. He moves it. Then he's moving when he centers the ball. Watch him move just ever so slightly. Now he centers the ball. When he does that, it throws him out of whack. And you're allowed to talk to yourself then. I would like to know what he had to say because he wasn't very happy with himself. But the only problem is now is Bart's fine if he talks to himself. If he starts arguing with himself and he answers those questions, now we have a major problem.
Look at that stat. Last week with 2 interceptions and a lost fumble, the Giant giveaway ratio dropped down. It's now a -2. Now, last season's Super Bowl champions were a +20. And there is Doug Dawson, who was shaken up a moment ago. He's on the Houston sideline. He has been replaced by John Flannery at the right guard position. Flannery, a rookie from Syracuse, who has been a starter this season. 2nd down and 9 at the 14. Moon with the time going sideline, and that seemed to drift away from Ernest Givens, who was covered by Adrian White.
Ernest Givens, actually, Marv, was not covered by anybody. I don't know whether the ball slipped out of his hands or it drifted on him. Watch Givens in the center, 81. When he goes out, there's nobody there. If Moon, when he pulls it back down, look at the ball. It just takes off and goes right. That looks like one of my golf shots.
Moon is now 1 for 4, only 16 yards. Had a good one in Cleveland last week, 26 out of 40. He has been bothered, though, by a bruised forearm. Told us the other day that he still doesn't feel he gets the proper velocity on his throws, although he seemed to be throwing well last week. Now Moon off the pump. Can't find anybody. Down he goes. Leonard Marshall, along with the rookie from South Carolina, Corey Miller, combining on the sack.
This is what they call a secondary sack. The defensive linebackers and secondary. Watch how much time that Moon really has. But there's no one to throw the ball to. Marshall, number 70, is going to eventually end up over there. And the guy, Corey Miller, 57, fights through the tackle and makes the play. Maggs can't hold him out that long. You just can't hold anybody out that long, and you give That credit to the secondary.
This a 37-yard attempt for Al Del Greco. So Houston is on the board, and Del Greco is 9 for 12 for the season, taking over for Ian Halfield several weeks back. Minute 15 gone by in the second, and the Giants lead it 7-3. Welcome back to Giants Stadium in the New Jersey Meadowlands. Bo Orlando with the wind blowing the ball off the tee, holding it now for Al Del Greco. And Meggett and Tillman are back for the kickoff. And it's a short kick. And Howard Cross attempting to make the catch as it drifted out of bounds.
Why would he even try to make the catch going out of bounds? I think he was already out of bounds when the ball hits, so it'll come out to the 35-yard line. But Cross has no business going for the ball in the first place. Watch this. What are you doing?
Against the kicking team, the ball was touched while the player was out of bounds. The ball will be delayed.
Well, Cross made contact out of bounds, and the ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line.
Let's look at Howard Cross here now. When he catches the ball, it's got to be his right foot is out of bounds. Watch this. Is it out of bounds? Right there. Because his left foot is still in the air when he touches the ball. He's not down. He touches the ball in the playing field, and the ball should be marked out of bounds right there.
It's a first down from the 35. We have a report on Houston offensive lineman Doug Dawson. Sprained knee. No word on whether he will return. Sims putting it up on first down. Could not find anyone, and just takes a dive at the 37.
And I don't blame him. Christmas is next Wednesday.
Well, tomorrow, the final Sunday of the regular season, and we have a doubleheader beginning 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live, and most of you will see the big one between the Jets and the Dolphins. A sudden death situation, the winner earning the final wild card berth in the AFC playoffs. How about Mark Clayton guaranteeing a Miami victory? He said no question about it.
Well, he's got pressure. He got Marino throwing to him, wouldn't you?
In the second half, most of you will see Kansas City and the LA Raiders. Hampton on the slant, stopped by the combination of Fuller and Orlando.
It's tough being all-pro. William Fuller, 95. Cross, 87. Watch this. That's what you call fighting off the elements. The holding, the face mask, and then the elements, and then get in and make the tackle.
It's a third down and 3 at the 42. On the subject of fighting off the elements, several of the coaches, we will not name names, but they had some very strong words to say about Giant left tackle Jumbo Elliott. They said he comes into the game with the idea to hold. He said, no question about it. Dave Meggett for the first down on his first carry, run out by Richard Johnson. So Meggett for 16 yards.
Bubba McDowell makes the biggest mistake of all, because he goes to the inside, and William Roberts, 66, will take him. Watch when they come out to the outside. Now 66 is going to be in front of Meggett. Here he is here. Now watch what McDowell does. He goes inside. When you do that, you open it up. You open the outside up. There's nobody there at that point. You've got to take the outside and force the runner back inside. Roberts makes a good play. Giants get a first down.
And it is a first down just outside the 41-yard line in Houston territory. We're early second quarter. Giants 7 and Houston 3. Off the play action. Cross hit down inside the 35. That's short of the first down. The strong safety Bubba McDowell came up to stop Howard Cross.
By McDowell.
What's your reaction to the statement about Jumbo Elliott? One of the coaches said that he will hold and usually gets away with it. That from the Houston point of view.
What it really is a shame is a guy that big has to hold. I mean,
of course, a lot of guys hold. It's all a matter of.
It's not holding if you don't get caught. Right. You understand? That's a good play if you don't get caught.
Sims 5 for 5 to this point. Goes to the ground for Hampton, who has the first down. Jeff on the stop.
All right, now you brought it up, and we're going to show you. On the left, 76, Jumbo Elliott. Now watch what he does. He goes through the hole. Watch his arms. Is that holding? Sure it is. You cannot get your arms outside. Eric Fairs is out there. He gets held. See? Nice observation.
Thank you very much. Just repeating the words from several coaches who were adamant about it, but it is very relative. That's always a judgment call, and they point at the left tackle, Jumbo Elliott, who has been an outstanding player for the Giants the last couple of years. On a reverse, it's Ingram. And that did not work. A loss of a couple on the play. William Fuller able to make the stop. Mark Ingram trying the reverse to the right.
Well, he was trying to hit Stephen Baker downfield, and covering was Bo Orlando and Chris Dishman. So there was just absolutely no place to go to throw the ball. And Ingram's going to limp. There were coaches that said things about Elliott. Nameless.
Oh, you want me to name people?
No. But I wouldn't name Jim Eddy.
Mark Ingram, who had 6 catches last week, 50 receptions for the year. Giants leading receiver headed to the sideline. 5.5 gone by in the second. Second down and 12 at the 31. Hampton on a sweep. Rodney Hampton stopped by Sean Jones and Johnny Meads.
All right, we're going to do the Jumbo Elliott hour and take a look at him now. Sean Jones is 96. That's Doug Smith. And there's a cut block there. And on a running play, that block is legal. But they also are going to take a look at it. The Rules Committee and may do something about it, because you're really putting a defensive man in jeopardy when you're cutting him below the knees.
And that is Jim Eddy, the defensive coordinator. He was with the University of Houston in the same position under Jack Pardee. Also worked with Jack with the Houston Gamblers of the USFL. It's a 3rd down and 7. Down at the 27. And Sims completes to Meggett. So Meggett has touched the ball on 2 occasions. The Oilers, as we mentioned earlier, very concerned about the quickness and the cutback abilities of Dave Meggett.
Well, Meggett is in the backfield, and what happens, you end up with a linebacker, Johnny Meads, trying to cover Meggett. And Phil Simms told us, if that happens, I'm going to throw the ball every time to Dave Meggett. He goes down the field and picks up the 1st down. You just cannot do that. Watch. I mean, when you see what Phil Simms does, he's looking over there, and he is very happy. He says, you give me that coverage, and I'll throw it to number 30 all afternoon long. That's the Houston bench that he's pointing at, saying, hey, I love that coverage. He told us yesterday, he said, I just can't believe that they would, and other teams would think about covering Meggett with a linebacker. And we talked yesterday to Jim Eddy, and he said, no way, because we asked him, what do you do with Dave Meggett? He said, there'll be 2 people on him. I said, would you cover him with a linebacker? He says, it'll not be a linebacker. If it is, he will have safety help or corner help.
Bo Orlando shaken up on that play with Meggett going for 16 yards.
All right, he's going to run into Meggett right here, and he gets hit right in the head. He turned around and started to walk off the field and then fell down. Dave Meggett is strong. I did Superstars a couple years ago, and in a weightlifting.
Were you in it, or you were?
No. In it. Doing what? I couldn't even get on the bike. But I was telling you, Dave Meggett in a weightlifting, I think came in 3rd to Reggie White and Cornelius Bennett.
Very impressive.
Is that good? That's how strong he is.
He goes 5'7", 180 pounds. Dave Meggett, 3rd year out of Towson State. Giants with a 1st down at the Houston 12. Play action. Sims with the time. Dumps it off for a touchdown. Howard Cross wide open.
Well, Cross is being covered by Johnny Meads, and the umpire throws a tremendous block. Tom Johnson, number 27. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's Al Conway. Wait, who are we got it? Number 27. Watch this block on Meads. Here comes Cross, and watch the referee. Bang! Great block. Picks him up perfectly. Tom Johnson. And touchdown.
That's the umpire, Tom Johnson.
Well, that's good, though. It was a nice block.
And Barr puts it through. 9 plays, 65 yards. Sims now 7 for 7, 92 yards, and the touchdown to Howard Cross. The Giants 14, Oilers 3. 40 seconds remaining in this first half, and the Giants leading the Houston Oilers by the score of 14-3. Alan Pinkett with the return. Good coverage by the Giants. And there's no question to this point which club is the team with the spark here in the first half.
How do you think the Denver Broncos feel?
Well, we'll take a look at that at halftime on NFL Live. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath will be with Mark Clayton, who guaranteed a Miami victory over the Jets. Tomorrow, they'll preview tomorrow's Jet-Dolphin game. Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh will take a look at the Chiefs and the Raiders, and the latest on Todd Marinovich's first start. Jay Schrader with 2 sprained ankles, so the Raiders will go with the rookie. That's coming up at halftime. First down from the 10. Alan Pinkett busting out to the 22-yard line.
Ball carried by Pinkett.
Leonard Marshall, Greg Jackson make the stop. There's Haywood Jeffries, who to this point has not had a reception, and Giant defensive backs made it quite clear that they would like to hold him under 100. He's also going for the NFL record. Art Monk of the Redskins, 105 receptions. Jeffries holding at 96. First down at the 23 off the draw. Again, the good hold. Pinkett has another first down. Brown and Thompson make the stop. You mentioned Denver. The situation here today, if Houston should lose to the Giants and then Denver wins at San Diego tomorrow, the Broncos would get the bye next week and the home field advantage. Now, Houston loses today and Denver also loses tomorrow. Houston would earn it. They have the tiebreaker over Denver because of a 42-14 win over the Broncos back in early October. First down from the 34. And moved to a wide open Gibbons. So the run and shoot beginning to show some signs.
Well, they ran 2 plays. They ran a handoff to Pinkett, then they ran a draw to Pinkett to get the safeties to make some kind of a commitment. That time, they go down with Gibbons and they go into the middle of the field where the safeties are gone. Believe me, even we talked to Warren Moon yesterday about Haywood Jeffries. Yes, it'd be nice to get him 100 catches for the year. And yes, it'd be nice to get Gibbons to another 1,000 yards and have 3 guys. But that is not their concern. They're down 14-3. They want home field advantage first.
Pickup of 23 on the reception. Penalty markers are down as Pinkett is hit behind the line.
Well, that play will be run over again because Don Maggs, number 78, moved the left tackle. And that play stops, and it's 5-yard
Full
penalty.
start prior to the snap, 78 offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Referee Larry Nemers with the call on Don Maggs. So it will be a first down and 15 back at the 43-yard line. And Warren Moon with that last attempt now has the NFL record 624 passing attempts in a season. Last week against Cleveland, he broke Dan Marino's record for most completions in a season. And that looked to be a mix-up. Corey Miller able to cover up Warren Moon.
When I'm looking on the outside and I see Haywood Jeffries, Perry Williams, the right corner, number 23, seems to be covering Jeffries in a man-to-man situation. I know they're playing zone defense. They're playing a 2-deep zone with the safeties. Number 29, Guyton, and number 47, Jackson. They're playing 2-deep zone. But when you look outside, you see Jeffries, he seems to be one-on-one with Williams.
And Houston now second out and 13. Moon going up top and overthrows. Mark Collins on the coverage of Curtis Duncan. Last week, Mark Collins had his hands full with Ricky Sanders of Washington, although he did a good job on Sanders.
Well, he does a good job here on Curtis Duncan. The ball is overthrown. But Collins, take a look at it. He has step for step. He has got the best position. He's the guy that could have caught the ball. He knows it.
However, the Giants have had difficulties in the secondary. Last week, some poor tackling. Greg Jackson was benched, taken out by Ray Handley and replaced by Adrian White. Myron Guyton did not have a good one against the Redskins. It's a 3rd and 13. 81 Gibbons comes across. Moon with the time. Now facing pressure from Eric Howard. And completes to Jeffries. And let's see if they call out a completion.
It is a catch and a fumble. And they get the ball back.
Well, Hayward Jeffries earlier today dropped one. And now he took a shot. Collins with the hit. And he coughed it up.
Well, look at, you got Gibbons and Jeffries are standing right there. There's nobody downfield far enough. Collins comes in and makes the play, and then Gibbons ends up with the fumble, but they call it. Wait a minute. The way they're marking that ball, that's an incompleted pass.
Apparently, the judgment is he did not have possession. It is incomplete. So Jeffries does not.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The play is being reviewed.
All right, remember now, when you catch the ball, you have to have control and both feet down on the ground. Here's Jeffries. The ball is control. 2 feet are down. I would give him the catch.
Did he get the 2nd foot down?
All right, here it is. The ball's in his chest.
After further
Right foot.
review, the play stands. 4th down.
Left foot.
No, he didn't get it down there before it went up. I think so. Too late, Paul. They're punting. Thanks a lot. So here is Montgomery with Meggett back. And he line drives it. And Houston gets a beautiful bounce. Meggett let it go. He thought it was headed for the end zone. Instead, a 41-yard punt that will be down around the 5. Their 5-yard line off the punt by Montgomery. 3:50 remaining in this first half. Superb start for Phil Simms. 7 for 7, 92 yards and a touchdown pass to Howard Cross. The Giants leading the Oilers by the score of 14-3. The lone deep back is Rodney Hampton. Hampton broke a tackle.
He not only broke a tackle, he just ran right through Johnny Means. This is a situation where, as a linebacker, you got to stay outside, but you have to attack the back. Coming to the left, Hampton cuts back in, and you'll see Means, 91, sitting there, waiting on him, and he just runs over Means. And picks up the 1st down and gets him out of trouble.
It is a 1st down at the 19, and Hampton on 17 carries has run for 73 yards, so he's 8 away from 1,000. Hampton to the outside. Refusing to go down. Reaching out to the 25, Al Smith and Richard Johnson make the stop. And there has to be concern in Houston with the Oilers trailing the Giants here by the score 14-3 before they were able to square things away by beating Pittsburgh to clinch the division and knocking off Cleveland last week. This is a club that lost 2 in a row at Pittsburgh and against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't understand the defense. You got 4 down linemen, 1 linebacker, 6 defensive backs, and the Giants are running the football.
It's a 2nd and 3. Now they go back to the air. And another completion. Odessa Turner. Bo Orlando, who is back in there, able to catch him, but it's a 39-yard pass play.
Odessa Turner comes underneath. Ingram goes downfield. Odessa Turner comes underneath. Now look at all the players of Houston are deep about 17 yards. Turner runs a pattern about 14 yards, cuts underneath, and then picks up the first down inside the 40. And you're sitting back there with 6 defensive backs, and I just question it. What are you playing 6 defensive backs for when the Giants are running the ball? Better cover somebody.
First catch of the day for Turner, who last week had 3 drops, including a certain touchdown. 2 minutes remaining. In the yard away now from 1,000 for the season, and Sims in trouble. Threw it away, and a penalty marker is down. And that is called intentional grounding on Phil Sims. Good rush by Sean Jones. Giants also going the 2-back set. The rookie Gerard Bunch
Intentional
joining
grounding.
Rodney Hampton.
Number 11.
First of all, the offensive line did a great job, but then
second down.
there was just no place to throw the ball. Dishman and the secondary are just covering very well. They're looking to the outside. There's Dishman, and he is just as outstanding coverage on Stephen Baker, and there's no place to throw the ball. Both backs went out of the backfield in the same direction to the right-hand side, so when Sims threw the ball down the middle, there's not a back even close.
Stephen Baker telling us as he looks at the run and shoot of the Houston Oilers, boy, would he fit into their concept. 5'8", 160 pounds, and of course with the Giants, you don't get many opportunities. He's had only 29 catches for the season.
He'd have to change his number.
That's true.
Drew Hill, who he watched when he was a little kid.
Yes, he said he was his favorite player when he was in junior high school. Drew, incidentally, thrilled to hear that news.
Yeah, I know. But if he went to the Houston Oilers, he would have to wear 85.5.
Apparently a question as to where the ball will be spotted.
Behind the line of scrimmage, so that's the spot.
And a reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, which will be given to the game's most valuable player. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire from Giant Stadium, 35-degree day. There is a 10 to 20 mile per hour wind. They say it could get worse once the second half rolls around. And Sims dumps it off to Hampton. Penalty flag is down. Hampton again breaking tackles. Well, Jim Eddy, the defensive coordinator for the Oilers, cannot be happy about what he has seen here in the first half.
No, and you know, because they're just letting the Giants do whatever they want to do. Now, this may be on Jumbo Elliott. Sean Jones is the guy that at first put his arms up and said there's holding. Jumbo, 76. He's pleading his case.
Holding, 76 offense.
Go get Bart Oates. He's an attorney. Let him plead it for you. Go sit down in the back. But the play, that little slip to the outside is run beautifully, because what they do with it is they take Howard Cross, the tight end, and slip him out, along with throwing the ball to Hampton, and he gets the block that opens it up.
2nd and 31.
Right side of your screen is the tackle, Jumbo Elliott, Sean Jones. Now, is this holding? Certainly it is. But there you see the play with Cross coming out. He makes the block on Al Smith, and that opens it up.
And this on a 2nd and 31. And Megan in a heated conversation with 6'4" Ezra Johnson, who was just added to the Houston roster.
False start prior to the snap. Number 60 offense, 5 yards, still second down.
It's the right guard, Eric Moore.
They're going the wrong way, the Giants.
It is set to a 2nd and 36 back at the 39. The Giants, with a surprising first half, lead the Houston Oilers by the score of 14-3. 2-yard touchdown run by Hampton off a long drive, 13 plays, 80 yards. Del Greco hit from 37, then Sims to Cross on a 12-yard pass play. Here's Meggett. This time he could not get much. Covered by Chris Dishman.
Boy, that is a super play by Chris Dishman. He just, and Jim Eddy wants a timeout because Houston wants to get the ball back with 1:32. It'll be 3rd and long. But Chris Dishman just made a sensational play. There's another Pro Bowler. But he comes out on Meggett, and again, you know, we talked about before that we saw Meads trying to cover Meggett, what's a linebacker. Now look at, they converge on him. Meads is coming from the inside. Dishman is there, and he just makes the play.
Houston has only one timeout remaining. The Giants have their 3. Well, the Raiders on their way to the playoffs once again, and tomorrow on NFL Live.
That's the way it goes. That's my old college coach.
Your guy at the Citadel.
Known him since 1955. Terrific guy. He really is.
Minute and a half remaining in this first half. Sims off the run. Wide open, Mark Ingram.
I mean, I cannot believe that Mark Ingram was running down through there, and there was no one there. They weren't even close to Ingram. And I don't know if Mark looked at the marker, Mark Ingram looked at the marker and kind of thought maybe that was first down marker, but it's not. It's 4th down and 10.
Yeah, he misread it, no question. He went for 25 and could have run for the first down, and he was looking at the wrong marker. Instead, it will be a 4th and 10, and so Matt Barr checks in for a long-range field goal attempt. This will be from 54 yards away. Here's Barr with the long kick.
That's good.
Yes, it is. A 54-yarder line drive by Barr, who is now 22 for 28 for the season.
Just getting the ball down was terrific by Matt Cavanaugh because the ball was centered out to the outside. Cavanaugh knew it was good. You know, Matt Barr's a little upset with you. Yesterday, you were in the locker room talking to Stephen Baker. And Barr came in and sat down, and you ignored him.
Now, there is a McGuire version of the story.
No.
And then there is what really happens.
You finally told him, he said, he looks
him.
like he's about 15 years
Yes,
old.
he
You
does.
told him, said, son, would you please go in the other room while we talk to the players?
No, I just wanted a glass of water, Paul. Matt came back. And there is Matt's brother, place kicker, Chris Barr, who also has made the rounds in the NFL.
He's very happy for his brother. And he'll take credit for this when it's over with. When the press talks to Chris, he said, I taught him everything he knows. You should have talked to him yesterday, Mark.
Giants with a 17-3 lead on the Oilers. And a good kick by Barr. Pat Coleman will stay right there. Well, tomorrow, final Sunday pregame. It could be extremely important depending on how the Houston Oilers make out today against the Giants. And things not going well for the Oilers in the first half. Tony Jones with his first catch of the day, covered by Mark Collins with 1:15 to go in this first half.
And that ball there looked like it kind of took off a little bit on Moon because Jones was down almost beyond the first down marker. And they are actually throwing into this wind right now. There's the wind. We saw earlier when Moon threw a ball that kind of drifted on him. So one thing that run and shoot fears more than anything else is wind.
That is the major question about the run and shoot. Can it operate successfully in the cold weather? Pinkett has run out of bounds. And at times, particularly last year, the Oilers had difficulty. They were able to put up all kinds of impressive numbers, go up and down the field, but within the red zone, they were not able to score, and that is another question concerning the run and shoot.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about the wind factor, which we talk about so many times with the run and shoot, and the coaching staff will tell you, Moon will tell you, that rain and hail and sleet and all that stuff, snow, doesn't bother it. But wind does. And here is a situation where he's throwing directly into the wind. He's got to throw short, and they don't have the time to throw short.
First down at the 34 as we come up on 1 minute left in the half. That time, Moon put it right on target for Drew Hill for a 21-yard advance. Banks on the stop. Timeout taken with 58 seconds remaining in the half. And that's the final timeout taken by the Oilers.
But see, that's a 21-yard pass pattern. Marvin, that is short for this run and shoot. Boone likes to get downfield in a hurry with this offense. And when it's 21 yards, they, boy, that's great. In this wind, yes, it is. Now watch what Moon is looking at. They're all hooking up short. There's Drew Hill, picks up the first down, 21-yard gain. But again, if Moon tries to throw the ball downfield at any distance, they're 45 yards now away from the goal line, that ball's going to hang or drift. So he's got to take the short patterns down, get himself into touchdown range. Field goals, I don't think, are going to help.
Reminder coming up at halftime. Bob Costas presiding on the halftime edition of NFL Live, and Tom Hammond and Joe Namath, who will handle the commentary on tomorrow's Jet Miami game, will be chatting with Mark Clayton and Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh live, looking at the Chiefs and Raiders and the latest on Todd Marinovich in his first NFL start. It's coming up at halftime. First down at the 45. Drew Hill once again, and he's able to stop the clock, has the first down as he steps out. He was covered by the right corner, Perry Williams, and there are now 52 seconds remaining in the first half.
The two deep zone defense. Now watch Drew Hill when he comes out. Watch, everybody goes deep. We're not going to give you anything deep. Look at Drew Hill. He just drifts. And when he does, there's no one there. He catches the ball. Williams comes up, but that's a first down. And a play like that only takes about 6 or 7 seconds if he gets it right out there. That picked up 10 yards on that play. Another 10 yards. They're down now that they can go for the end zone.
And that's 86 catches for the season for the 35-year-old Drew Hill. That is second in the AFC. First down at the 35. Moon goes the middle. And let's see, Jeffries, the intended receiver.
They're dragging Jeffries all around.
Pepper Johnson involved with a couple of Oilers, and that is a completed pass. And for Haywood Jeffries, that is his first catch of the day, number 97 on the season.
Now they're going to review this because the Giants, they kind of delayed a little bit to find out if Jeffries actually caught the ball. Haywood Jeffries is way up left on the top side. He's coming underneath. He is not the primary target. Here's the ball. Bang. Does he catch it? Well, he's got it in his legs. Yes, there's no question about that. Now it's a catch.
It's a leg catch, Paul.
And then Pepper's dragging him around. Don't you can't drag him across the field.
Haywood Jeffries now 3 away from 100 and chasing the record of Art Monk. We mentioned earlier the record 105. It's 106. That is the NFL record.
Haywood Jeffries, when he catches the ball, it goes through his arms and he catches it in his legs. The ball does not hit the ground. That is a catch.
Second down and 2. Half-minute remaining in the first half. Houston out of its timeouts. Moon with the sideline pass, trying to stop the clock, but it was incomplete. Mark Collins with the good hit on Ernest Givens.
Did you see how long that ball took to get across field? It's a pass that Moon knows he cannot throw. He's going to throw it all the way back across the field to Givens, and Collins makes the jump on the ball. Watch how long this ball takes to get there. Here comes Moon back, and the wind grabs it. And it's just dying in the air. Gives Collins a chance to get there. He makes the play on the ball, no catch.
And you notice Givens wearing that plexiglass visor protecting the broken nose, courtesy of Wes Hopkins of the Eagles, who was fined $7,500 by the NFL for that forearm clout. And Moon now going deeper, has Givens, and he is walloped. And Givens gets up quickly as the clock is running. 17-yard pickup. What a catch by Givens, able to work off that hard hit, and now Moon stops the clock. Well, both Mark Collins and Myron Guyton made it clear to us that the way to play the Houston Oilers is to go very physical on the receivers. In particular, Ernest Givens. They felt that Philadelphia in particular was very successful in stopping Houston in that matter.
All right, the field goal team wants to get on the field. You've got 8 seconds. You go to the end zone. You have time to throw one pattern into the end zone. If you don't make it, then you kick the field goal. But they're not that far away. They're only 12 yards away. He's got time. Now they're going to go for the field goal. They're not going to, because of the wind down there. And I don't think with Montgomery they're going to fake it.
This is a 29-yard field goal attempt for Del Greco. Earlier he hit from 37.
They got delay of the game on Houston.
So it pushes back to a 34-yard attempt for Al Del Greco in his 8th year out of Auburn, a one-time Packer, one-time Cardinal.
I am really kind of surprised, Mark, with 8 seconds to go and on the 12-yard line, why they didn't try at least one pass. I think a quick slant into the end zone. That's another reason why I'm not coaching.
I was going to point that out. I'm sure the wind factor is the major concern of Houston. Newspapers flying in front of Del Greco as he lined it up and was able to put it through. So Del Greco with his 2nd field goal of the first half, and that's all the explosive Houston Oilers have to show for this first half. 2 field goals by...
Close the ball up. They're letting the band in, or are they? But when, I mean, there's been stories done on it. That's at the opposite end of the field to our right. And then if the door at the other end is opened up, it's like a wind tunnel down there. And some say that the Giants, I'm not, some say that when the other team has the ball, the Giants open that door.
You feel there is a sinister development here, though?
No.
It sounds to me like something Parcells would have pulled during his reign. Del Greco put it on the ground, covered up by Lorenzo Freeman. So the Giants in the first half had the ball just under 22 minutes. Houston only 8 minutes. They played ball control. They kept Warren Moon off the field. And at halftime, it's the Giants 17 and the Oilers 6. To look at the Coors Light halftime statistics, and the key, the time of possession, the Giants had the football for just under 22 minutes in that first half.
Well, you know, you talk about how do you stop the Houston Oiler offense? With your own offense, by keeping it, you know, the first drive was over 9 minutes, almost 9.5 minutes. That's how you keep the offense of the Oilers off the field.
Warren Moon 8 for 15, 108 yards. Not a shot first half for Moon. They give us to Pinkett. Try to make the turn, getting out to the 25. He was hit by Mark Collins. For the Giants, Phil Simms 10 for 11, 155 yards and 1 touchdown in the first half. And Rodney Hampton 18 carries, and now the official score is saying 81 yards, which gives him exactly 1,000 for the season. The first Giant to hit that mark since O.J. Anderson back in 1989. Not bad for Rodney. Missed the first 2 games of the season with an injury. Pinkett is hit back by Eric Howard.
You know, when you sit back, Eric Howard just makes a super play and stops it there. And you ask, you know, why are they running the ball? Here comes Pinkett up the middle. If they get by, if Matthews blocks off to his right instead of going downfield on a linebacker that he misses, they'd have been better off. But you're going right back into this big wind. But again, Moon proved it to himself that he can throw the ball short into the wind. And short, I mean anything from, about 18 yards back. You've got to throw the ball.
It's a 3rd and 8 at the 22. 85 Hill in motion. Penalty flags are thrown. And that is short of the first down. Haywood Jeffries with his 2nd catch of the day, depending on what the penalty call is.
They got offside against the Giants, and that'll nullify that catch because you're going to have to take the penalty and still maintain 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and about 2 or 4th and 2. I think it's safe to say they'll take the penalty.
Defense, offside, number 74. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Eric Howard, who made his return 2 weeks ago after being sidelined with a back injury, and he was a major loss to this ball play.
Eric Howard, he didn't touch anybody. If he would have touched someone, then the play dies right there. But he doesn't touch anyone, and he's dancing down the sideline. I thought it was a pretty good move.
Eric Howard, a driving force in the middle for the Giants, 6th season out of Washington State. It is a 3rd down and 3. And it's bobbled, incomplete. Drew Hill could not hang on. We are seeing a number of uncharacteristic moves by the Houston Oilers offense.
And Marv, I don't know if he had the first down anyway. He had to get to the 30-yard line. That's Drew Hill. He's coming down the line of scrimmage. Well, if he catches it right there, he'd have been able to get across for the first down. But he had to go back at the ball. He had no chance to catch it. And Jackson, number 47, makes the play.
Third punt of the day for Greg Montgomery, who hails from nearby Red Bank, New Jersey. Once again, a line drive, and the fair catch handled by Mark Ingram. It's a 35-yard punt. So the Giants get it back with 2 minutes gone by in this third quarter, and the Giants in front of Houston by the score of 17-6. Here comes Phil Simms, 10 for 11 first half. We had a long conversation yesterday with Phil Simms, who made it clear if he is with the Giants next season, he said he knows he'll be the backup again behind Jeff Hostetler. Handled it this year, but doesn't want to go through it again. And he would not mind testing the waters as a Plan B free agent. But the Giants would have to leave him unprotected. Simms able to complete to Howard Cross, who has had an excellent day. Giants might be reluctant to leave Phil Simms unprotected. And I'm told, Paul, if Simms is placed on Plan B right now, there are at least 4 NFL teams who would be extremely interested, and he would start for all 4.
I don't think there's any question of it, and I think the one thing that Phil Simms knows is that he can start. That's the part that's in his mind. So when you say, yeah, he likes to test the waters, I think he would.
Here's Hampton, and that clearly puts him over 1,000. The official scorer said yes, but we were not certain about that.
I had him at 999. Yeah. I did not have him at the 1,000 until just then.
That computer-like brain of yours, figuring out the stats as the game progresses.
Well, you know, you think about what Houston wanted to do defensively, and mainly, and that was to stop Hampton from getting 1,000 yards. On the other hand, the Giants defensively,
now they've made it official.
Yeah, see, they were waiting for us. The Giants defensively shut down Jeffries, shut down Givens, shut down a running game, and they've done everything that they wanted to do defensively.
It's a first down at midfield. Off the play action. Oh, Simms so precise. Able to connect with Hampton. Al Smith on the stop. It is short, just shy of the first down.
You know, Simms that time, and he looked back out here to the left after he threw the ball. He looked out. Mark Ingram, number 82, put his hand up, waved at Simms. Simms waved back, acknowledged the fact that Ingram was out here all by himself and no one covered it.
Second down and 2 at the 42. Simms now 12 for 13, 169 yards. Hampton to the outside. Run out by Dishman. Another Giant first down.
Marv, there's nobody outside. The Giants run to the right, left of the screen. When they do that, Fuller is back to the inside. Bubba McDowell gets hung up inside. There are no linebackers. There are no defensive backs. And Hampton runs the ball inside the 20. That's a beautiful play.
He went for 27. Rodney Hampton grew up in Houston, Texas. In the past, when Otis Anderson was getting the playing time, Hampton's speed and deceptive moves provided a nice changeup for the Giants. It's been all Hampton, though, thus far today. And once again, he's stopped by Dishman, this time down at the 12-yard line.
Well, he was trying to get 1,000 yards today. Now he's going for the rushing title. We turn around. Hampton picks up, look at this, 115 yards so far. And there's still 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third period. He's going off the field.
And Rodney Hampton, hearing it from the crowd, will get a rest. What is so impressive about Hampton is he missed the first 2 games of the season with a sprained shoulder, yet he's gone over 1,000. Lewis Tillman now replacing Rodney Hampton. Simms with the tie, and this is Tillman for the first down at the 5. Smith and Fairs make the tackle.
When you watch it, Phil Simms just cut Houston apart with his passing, is that he's looking downfield. If the primary target downfield is not open. Watch Sims. He'll look right back to the right, and he's going to see Tillman. Like a bang, bang. Downfield is covered. Now I'll go to the outlet man. Happens to be Tillman. Hits him with the ball. They pick up the first down. They're inside the 5.
Bill Sims, 13 for 14. It's a first and goal at the 5. Now Bunch in the backfield with Tillman. Tillman broke a tackle, stiff arms, and runs for the touchdown.
He just knocked Richard Johnson to the ground. Fuller, I think, missed him on the outside, number 95. And then Richard Johnson, number 23, came up to hit him, and he put one in your face and knocked him to the ground. Here we go. Left of the screen. Here comes Fuller. He misses there. Watch Johnson, 23, on the ground. And there's touchdown. You deserve it, young man.
Matt Barr able to put the extra point right through. And the Giants now lead the Oilers. 24, Houston, 24-6. Early moments of the third quarter. Alan Pinkett with the kickoff return. And he's able to break tackles. Reaching out near the 35. Adrian White brought him down. Well, in recent weeks, Paul, the Giants have been the team, certainly in the New York metropolitan area, accused of lack of effort. Lawrence Taylor several weeks ago saying that the players and the coaches quit, which upset the coaches. They felt that wasn't true. But here with Houston having several factors on the line going into this one, you look at their performance to this point. They still have a lot of time remaining, but you'd have to say that their effort certainly can be questioned. Some poor tackling, drop passes. Drew Hill on the reception. Certainly the Giants owning the football for 13 minutes of the first quarter, a major factor, and both Phil Simms and Rodney Hampton have been outstanding.
You know, and you can sit there and say, okay, the wind is hurting the offense. If that's the case, you better get yourself another offense, because you're not going to be playing in the dome all the time. And they're going to have to finish up this season if they don't win this game. And if they lose this one and Denver wins, they're going to have to end up either in Denver, or if they go any further, it would be in Buffalo, so they're going to be outdoors. That's one of the points. We'll get back to another one in a minute.
It's second down and 5 from the 39. Lorenzo White now in the backfield. Moon with the play action, and he's off the mark. Pass intended for Ernest Gibbons.
Now, Moon you saw Moon point to his chest right there. He said, that's my fault. I did not get the ball there. But you're looking at a situation, and offensively, if the wind is that big a factor, and look what it's done to him so far here, you've got to change some things. Now, defensively, here's where the biggest problem is. They're into a game. They're not even slowing down the Giants. Marvin, I mean, you talk about the turnaround of this football team through this past year has been the 180 degrees due to the defense. Well, the defense hasn't done a thing today, and this is one of the most important games they can play because they need the time off.
Third down and 5. And Boone's pass, let's see, the Giants say incomplete. Gibbons claims he caught it. Gibbons in the face of the official. We have not received an indication.
Well, they're bringing the ball back, so the indication is he didn't catch the ball.
It is being ruled incomplete.
All right, here's the play right down the middle. Well, there, I would change it. We have something closer. But on that play there, they're going to review it. Yes, you will, because it's close enough. But that is not enough to overturn it from that angle. Gibbons is telling.
The ruling on the field is incomplete pass. The play is being reviewed.
All right, his hands have to be underneath it. I wouldn't change it on that one there either. But look at his hands are underneath the ball. And he's saying he scooped the ball up with his hands underneath the ball. And when he rolls over, the hands are there. The key to this whole thing is, does he get his
fourth down?
See, does he get his hands underneath it? There's not enough there to overturn it, Marv.
And so it is incomplete. And Rick Montgomery coming on to punt for the 4th time today. Meggett and Ingram are back. Montgomery looking to keep it away from Meggett. Meggett muffed it and then covers up inside the 15. That was actually aimed for Ingram. A 45-yard punt, and the Giants back to the offense. They have a 24. Notice the plexiglass visor protecting the broken nose, which may require more surgery after the season is over. Giants take over from their 15-yard line. And again, Sims able to complete, dumping it to Lewis Tillman. Al Smith made the stop. A crowd of 63,421 here at Giant Stadium. The no-show count 13,742, which is a high number for the Giants, but this is the finale. And ironically, the team that won the Super Bowl last year will be the first NFL team to conclude their season, as they will finish up this afternoon. Here's Tillman across the 20-yard line. And the Giants hoping to reach the 500 mark at 8-8 if they're able to hold on and defeat the Oilers.
All right, the last play, Smith covered Tillman coming out, 54. Now watch this. Here he comes out. He plays off the center, Oates, and now his job is to get in on the tackle. And there he is on a tackle on the run play. So that's 2 for 2. And we've got Doug Smith is hurt on the field again.
Doug Smith, the 6'6", 309-pound defensive tackle. A host of injuries have hit the Oilers here. Appeared to injure his wrist. Lamar Lathan hurt earlier. He will not return. The same for the right guard, Doug Dawson. He's out the rest of the way. 6:45 to go in the third. Giants with a 3rd down and 4. Sims could not find anyone, so runs for the 1st down. And picks up additional yardage. He goes for 20, and Phil Sims hearing it from the crowd. He's 14 for 15, and Paul, the only incompletion came on intentional grounding.
And this is, this is really frustrating for the defense. Here they are. They're in there putting pressure on Sims, and everybody's backed up in pass coverage. And Sims knows he's got to pick up the 1st down beyond the 30-yard line, and does that, gets even more than that. But he said something that was very interesting about this offense, and we'll get to it right after this play.
Doug Smith has returned for Houston. It's a 1st down at the 40. Here's Tillman running well and has a Giant 1st down. Yes, Sims telling us that last week against Washington and also for today against Houston, the coaches have drastically simplified the game plan because they felt the players' concentration level is so limited, and they were fearful that they would just pack it in for today, which makes today's performance even more surprising.
And we just saw the play by Tillman. We saw Hampton run that. They've run that same play about 8 times, and every time they run it, they pick up anywhere from 8 to 15 yards.
And a 1st down at the Houston 48. Off the draw, Tillman running well, getting inside the 45. Al Smith, the middle linebacker, made the stop. So Lewis Tillman, a 3-year NFL veteran out of Jackson State, slashing style runner, scored a touchdown on the Giants last series. He's averaging about 4.5 yards per carry. Has done well in coming on for Rodney Hampton.
And again, the punter Montgomery has been doing his job, putting the Giants back in their own territory. The defense, they have really not slowed the Giants down.
2nd down and 6 at the Houston 44. Sims with all day. Oh, what a job by the offensive line right throughout as Sims is able to complete again. Stephen Baker on a 17-yard pickup. And for Baker, that's his 1st catch of the day.
I don't care who you are as a corner, man, and that's Dishman outside. You're not going to stay with the man that long. Look at this coverage by Dishman. All right, now watch what Baker does. He's at the 25, and he catches the ball actually back at the 30 or 29-yard line. So he comes back to Sims, but most importantly, what you said, the offensive line. The defensive line rushing forward never got close to Sims.
Tillman reaching inside the 25-yard line. Sims now 15 for 16 for 200 yards. Certainly a different set of circumstances, but you'll recall the Super Bowl back in '86 against Denver. Phil Sims went 22 of 25, and he has been on target right throughout the afternoon. Look at the play selection by the Giants.
What do you think his chance to go to plan B? Slim and none.
So the Giants, who run 52% for the season, are up to 65, which has certainly opened up the passing game for Sims, and they have owned the football. And that is the first NFL carry for the rookie from Michigan, Gerard Bunch. It's been a non-eventful rookie year. Did have a costly fumble against Dallas in late September, that off a reception. The Giants felt that he was the best blocking back available. Giant scouts think that Bunch could develop into a fine power runner down the line. Goes 6'2", 248 pounds.
Carthen hadn't been a bad blocker either, has he? All these years? Reese Carthen? I mean, he's done a super job.
Third down and 5. Sims. And that is the first true incompletion.
Well, I would too, because you had Fuller and Alm into your face, and instead of taking the sack, which could possibly take you out of field goal range, but Barr's already hit a 54-yarder. Here it is. There's Alm being held. It still makes the play. Jeff Alm was being held right at the line of scrimmage and still got in on Sims.
And this will be a 40-yard attempt with 2:37 remaining in the third. And let's see if someone got a piece of it. Well, Sean Jones indicating that that was the case.
That's the best defensive plays we've seen for a while. All right, let's just see what happens. Sean Jones, his 96. Well, he's right up there in the middle, and if he says he got a piece, I believe it.
So Barr not able to hit. We'll be right back. Givens with a gorgeous move picks up the first down at the 35. Myron Guyton up from free safety to make the stop. To this point, Lawrence Taylor, who was a question mark for today, has not played, out with a sprained ankle. However, the Giants very high on the rookie from South Carolina wearing number 57, Corey Miller, and he has been in there for most of the way. There is Miller. Last week had his first NFL sack against the Redskins. Just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Off the draw, Lorenzo White. And this the first signs of Houston showing something offensively as he goes for 14.
I would be surprised to see Houston go into a little bit of a hurry-up offense because the Redskins kind of destroyed the Giants last week with a hurry-up. And it is surprising with Lawrence Taylor not in there. We thought we'd see Warren Moon more in the shotgun, but one of the reasons he's not back there is because of the wind.
Of course, Lawrence isn't what he was, but at times can still be a force. And again, the completion to Givens. And he has the first down. The Oilers have not had the football very much to this point. 11 minutes of possession time, while the Giants over 32 minutes.
So and the Oilers know, you get frustrated sometimes. Someone says, well, you got to score on this drive. Well, Houston really does have to score here. They cannot turn the ball back over because you're inside of a minute in the third quarter. The Giants, can eat up 8 or 9 minutes of the clock.
It's a first down of the Giant 39 again to the draw. White takes it outside. Lorenzo White running well has another Houston first down. Perry Williams made the stop. Lorenzo White, a slashing style runner, likes to cut back, and similar to last week in Cleveland, Houston pulling Alan Pinkett in the second half and going for White, who just ripped off 11 more yards.
And the Houston Oilers will get the ball with the wind in the fourth quarter. They've got it now. They can still get at least one more play off.
First down at the 27. Here's White. Getting inside the 15. Houston with a first down as this third quarter ends. So White, 3 carries for 39 yards. We'll be back after this from that. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. As this fourth quarter gets underway, the Giants with a 24-6 lead on the Houston Oilers, who are in the midst of the most impressive drive of the day. First down at the Giant 13. Here's White. Lorenzo White inside the 5 for an Oiler first down. Greg Jackson made the stop.
What's happening here with the Giants, which they've been playing all day long, is a 2-man defensive line. Talk about Eric Howard, 74, and Leonard Marshall, number 70. Then they're going with 3 linebackers. And what's happened is you've got 5 offensive linemen blocking 2 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers. It's a mismatch. And then Lorenzo White gets in, picks up the first down. Don't be surprised to see him running in all the way here. They're not going to run that much time off the clock anyway.
And the Giants have been a very poor fourth quarter club. 5 teams have come from behind in the fourth to win it. Over the Giants. Penalty markers down.
David Williams just takes off ahead of time. Who's the right tackle for the Houston Oilers. And, you know, you got first down. You're
Full
at
start,
the 3-yard
right at
line.
the snaps, 73 offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Championship teams don't make these mistakes. Now you put Moon and the Houston Oilers in a position where you're coming up on 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You're behind by 18 points. You're going to have to throw the ball.
It is a first and goal at the 8. A minute gone by in the fourth. And Moon throws it. And bumped out of bounds is Drew Hill. Adrian White making the stop down at the 3-yard line. And that is 5 catches for Drew Hill. Haywood Jeffries has been held in check. Only 1 reception. Ball placed at the 2. It's a second and goal at the 2. I mentioned the Giant difficulties in the fourth quarter. That's quite a differential.
It really is. And you're looking at Houston with the win now.
And here's White. The free safety, Myron Guyton, would not allow the churning Lorenzo White to pick up yardage. And the ball is placed back at the 5.
Look at this. Here comes Guyton inside. Now Lorenzo White runs in to his own man and also Pepper Johnson, number 52. And then Guyton, 29, comes in and seals it off. If Lorenzo would have cut left as soon as he got the ball, he might have been able to score. But you've got to go touchdown here. This is not field goal time.
They say his forward progress is stopped down at the 2. It's a third and goal at the 2. Beautiful fake, but the Giants did not go for it. Corey Miller was right there.
The guy that makes the play is Adrian White, number 36, the defensive back. He gets a hold of Drew Hill at the line of scrimmage and will not allow him to get off. And that's the man that Warren Moon was trying to throw the ball to. Then Corey Miller comes in and makes the play. But on the end line, it was Adrian White making the play, holding Hill off, and they have to go for it.
Yes, they are going for the 6th, 10th play of the drive. 4th and goal from the 11. Moon couldn't find anyone. And now throws one. Incomplete. Intended for Drew Hill in the back of the end zone. And the crowd here at Giant Stadium responding to the defensive effort by the Giants.
And Warren Moon, it looked like he could run for the touchdown, but he wasn't about to do that because he had too many yards to go The ball thrown to Hill, incomplete. Giants have the ball.
Well, for Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers, this not the way to approach the playoffs. And they may well be playing next week.
Yeah, all they're going to have to do if they lose this one is depend on San Diego beating Denver.
Giants taking over to Hampton. Gets across the 15. The strong safety, Bubba McDowell, made the stop. To this point, the Houston Oilers, in effect, are providing the Giants with their 1991 highlight film.
It's true. And the Giants, all they have to do now is just maintain possession for a little while and run 5 or 6 minutes off the clock, and the game's over.
Phil Simms, 15 for 17, 200 yards. One incompletion was on intentional grounding. So if there is such a phrase as a pure incompletion, only one of them would be in that category. Hampton pulling away and then hit down by the middle linebacker, Pro Bowl man Al Smith.
Here comes Doug Smith back off the field again. He hurt his arm again.
Al Smith.
A rough day for the defensive tackle Doug Smith. Well, these are the possibilities that the Oilers can blow here this afternoon. They've already clinched the AFC Central, but need a victory to wrap up a first week bye in the playoff, as well as the home field advantage. So lost today and a Denver win in San Diego tomorrow, and the Oilers will host a wild card next weekend against either the Jets or Miami. If Houston loses today and Denver also loses, Houston will back its way in. Simms took the shot from number 29, Darrell Lewis, who will receive credit for his first sack of the season. Lewis, a rookie, a second-round draft pick out of Arizona.
Well, they just sent too many guys. They're in a passing formation. 29 is Lewis on the outside. You have to account for everyone. And this man was not accounted for. Simms goes down on the knee. Lewis gets the sack. And now the Giants have to punt. And the Oilers still have a chance.
Very restful day spent by Sean Landeta. This is his first punt. And he will punt from his end zone. Pat Coleman is back at midfield. Just under 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Coleman has had his share of difficulties in fielding punts and runs it out. 38-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Giants with a 24-6 lead defensively. Al Groh, the Giants defensive coordinator, man who took over from Bill Belichick, also a very tough act to follow.
It certainly is, and with that signal, it's just back up and be a little bit deeper than they get. Don't let them catch anything deep on you. Don't let them score right away. Give them everything short.
Moon throwing on first down, and that is only the second catch of the day for Haywood Jeffries, number 98 for the season. Terry Williams on the coverage, went for 8, 2nd and 2.
And here they go into the hurry up, and Moon, you know, again, they're going to be able to complete all the short stuff.
Lone deep back, Lorenzo White, who has run very well here in the second half. 9 minutes to go in the fourth. And broken up, a hard hit once again on Drew Hill. It was Myron Guyton who told us yesterday that he intends to play a very physical game, and he was telling the truth.
He was, and the ball, look at the ball is already coming out. I don't think Hill would have been able to catch it anyway, but Guyton just made sure he didn't hit him as the ball was bouncing around. Moon that time also had Haywood Jeffries coming underneath. So again, the short stuff, which he's going to have to go to here, and they're in 4-down territory. It doesn't make any difference. They're going to be going for it. No punts, no field goals.
3rd down and 2 at the Giant 46. Here's White running for the first down and some more. Pepper Johnson and Myron Guyton combining to make the stop. White for 14. So he's carried the ball 6 times and run for 65 yards.
You know, and here's a situation where Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers have the ball with the wind in the 4th quarter, but they can't throw deep because the 2 deep safeties are playing right. They're on the 15, heading for the goal line.
And Moon's pass caught. Beautiful catch by Hill in front of Renee Thompson. And that is right at the marker.
I can't believe that Moon got it off because Leonard Marshall was all over him. He hits him. Hill makes a great play. And Moon made a super play just getting the ball out.
6 catches, 67 yards for Hill. So once again, the Oilers are moving. They were stopped in their last drive. White with the draw play, able to spin to the 16. Pepper Johnson tripped him up. And Carl Banks shaken up. Lawrence Taylor sitting it out. Right throughout, he was a question mark because of a sprained knee. There was some talk that Taylor might call it quits a couple of weeks ago, but he made it clear he'll be back. Does not want to end his Hall of Fame career after such a poor Giant season. Here's White. And he has a first down. One other factor, I don't think that Lawrence desires to give up the big money.
No,
at this point.
why would he? I mean, he still can contribute. Well, Lawrence Taylor is what, the last years, all the years that he's played, he's been the best linebacker in professional football. There's Howard going off. He was injured on that last play.
Not the same, though. Not the same in recent years. I think reputation helped him in terms of Pro Bowl. He's still a force, as we discussed earlier, but his string of 10 straight Pro Bowl selections came to an end, and he made it clear. He said he did not deserve it, which is accurate this season.
There's no question about it. But the thing about when that man, Lawrence Taylor, is in the ball game, what he does is he makes quarterbacks aware that they have to get the ball away a little bit sooner than they normally would like to. And Warren Moon told us that yesterday.
First and goal at the 9. Moon again couldn't find anybody and throws it high and far. Ernest Gibbons in the area, and again, superb coverage by the Giant defenders.
Superb coverage, and Moon felt a little bit of pressure, and he threw the ball and knocked a piece of the wall down. He did that thing so hard that no one was going to catch it.
Houston Oilers have not been able to score a touchdown, and we have 6:48 remaining in the 4th quarter. 2nd and goal at the 9. Hill lines up in the slot. On the draw, White stopped down at the 6 by Roger Brown, a 2nd-year player out of Virginia Tech. He is the Giants' nickel back. There he is, number 46, Roger Brown.
You know, Marvin, you're talking about the Houston Oilers not scoring a touchdown, and they're going to say the wind was treacherous. If that's the case, then you better put some offense, grab some tight ends somewhere, and put some offense in there that's going to help you against the wind, because if they're going to be playing in Buffalo and in Denver in strong winds, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
It's a 3rd down and goal again. Moon couldn't find anybody, but has the opening, and he's able to run it in. Warren Moon scoring after once again the Fab Four well covered, and Moon decided not to throw it.
Well, they all drop off, and they all be in the Giants into the end zone. Just take a look at when Moon ends up and he starts running for the end zone. The only guy that really has a shot at him is Pepper Johnson. He'll come into the picture now, but he can't get him because Moon's already across. The defensive secondary was so far back in the end zone, they didn't have a shot. Roger Brown was on the outside covering.
9 plays, 54 yards in 3 minutes and 34 seconds. And here's Al Del Greco. The Giants now leading Houston by the score of 24-13 with 6:06 to go. The Giants in Houston have met in regular season play. Giants won the previous 3, including a victory back in 1973 at Yankee Stadium. The final Giants win at Yankee Stadium. 2 weeks after that, Giants moved on to the Yale Bowl as an interim home site, while Giant Stadium was under construction. Good kickoff by Del Greco, and Meggett remains in the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Carl Banks on that last series was injured, and he's headed back to the Giant locker room. Well, the Raiders are headed to the playoffs once again. First down at the 20. 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the Giants leading the Oilers 24-13. Brian Williams has come on at center for Bart Oates. Here's Hampton out to the 25-yard line. Eric Fairs, who's replaced the injured Lamar Latham, made the stop.
And the Giants are lining up and telling Houston we're going to run. We've got 2 tight ends, 2 backs, and 1 wide receiver. That's Odessa Turner.
Giants said they want to get a look at Brian Williams, who was a doubtful for today because of a neck injury suffered last week. 3-year man from Minnesota. Giants also told us they wanted to play Gerard Bunch, but he has only played briefly. He did get his first NFL carry earlier in the game. But the story offensively has been Sims and Hampton. And here's Hampton short of the first down. 25 carries, 129 yards for Rodney Hampton. Bubba McDowell made the stop. It'll be a 3rd down and 1 at the 29.
The Oilers have 3 timeouts, so they're not going to take one. They will take one if they stop the Giants on 3rd down. But they won't take one now because they only have 3. You're inside 440. And they've got to score 2 touchdowns in order to win the football game. This is where the 2-point play would come in, you know.
You like that? How about a ruse, Paul?
No, 2-point play. You're only 11. You can score a touchdown, go for 2, that's 8. And get the field goal 11, you get a tie.
It is a 3rd down and 1. Here's Hampton. No, he's short of the first down. Al Smith came up to make the stop. Lots of time left. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. And the Giants.
Houston must use a timeout right here.
Well, the clock is running. Giants taking their time as Sean Landeta drops back to his 15. He will punt to Pat Coleman. They're letting the clock run down. Just does get it off.
Good kick.
And Coleman calling for the fair catch. 43-yard punt by Landeta. San Diego. Plus Bob and O.J. and Bill. That's after the game.
Well, I just can't believe that Houston did not call a timeout right at that point there. They let over 40 seconds go off of the clock. And those 40 seconds are worth a timeout.
So Houston from its 28-yard line. And that's intended for Jeffries. Haywood Jeffries with only 2 catches for the day. He dropped one, and then he had one, but took a shot from behind and was not able to hang on, and he is stuck at 98 receptions for the game. The clock is stopped with 3:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line.
That catch wouldn't have made any difference anyway because he was out of bounds. His foot was out of bounds when he was catching the ball.
And now Moon goes to Jeffries, so that is number 99. He was looking for the first down marker. Roger Brown made the tackle. He is short of the first down.
Haywood had one taken away because of a penalty. It's on a 3rd down play. He didn't have the first down. They had to take the penalty to get the 3rd down back again. And now you're at 3rd down and 1. They're going to run the ball here, but that's going to get the clock moving. They got to get the first down.
It is a 3rd and 1 at the 37. Here's White.
He can get
Gary Reasons plugging the hole.
Well, he's going to get it after this mark because it's a sensational mark. And Moon now is calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
And we're under 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Now Moon to the sideline, but Duncan could not get out of bounds. Hit immediately by Collins. That's his first catch of the day. That's been it.
And that's a first down, but a super play by Mark Collins. His job was, okay, you can catch the ball in front of me. You're not getting out of bounds. You're going to keep the clock moving.
It is a first down at midfield, and the clock is moving. Both clubs have their 3 timeouts. 2:20 to go in the fourth quarter. A disappointing afternoon here at Giant Stadium for the AFC Central Division champion Houston Oilers. Lorenzo White stopped at the 45 by Reasons and Miller.
Here's another situation where I don't understand why they don't take a timeout. If you take a timeout, he lets it go to 2 minutes. It's kind of like a waste.
And now with a 2-minute warning, we'll take back to Giant Stadium. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire. 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. It is a second down and 4 for Houston at the Giant 45-yard line. Moon in trouble and able to complete to Hill for a first down, and he stops the clock, getting out of bounds.
Leonard Marshall was there, and what a great play Warren Moon makes just to keep the drive alive. Here comes Moon. 70 is Marshall. Look at this play. Moon gets away. Marshall's there. He's going down. Throws the ball to Hill. And then Hill gets out of bounds. Veterans.
First down at the 37, but Houston is trailing by the score of 24-13.
And Haywood Jeffries is on 99.
He is split wide to the left side, looking to become the 5th player in NFL history to come up with 100 receptions. And we get the offside indication.
Yeah, but Marshall comes back, and he can do that. Maggs is the man that can't do that. Number 78, he moved. Marshall goes offside, but he can get back onside as long as he doesn't touch anyone. Then Maggs moves, the left offensive tackle, and they're going to call it against Houston. Here it comes.
False start prior to the snap. Number 78 offense.
And that is the left tackle, Don Maggs, who is rarely called for penalties.
Now see Marshall, he's across, but he can come back. Now Maggs moves. If Marshall touches someone, they would have called him, but he didn't.
It is a 1st and 15 back at the 42-yard line. So at the Denver airport, the Broncos certainly enjoying what they are watching. It is completed to Duncan, and he gets out to stop the clock. Unless there is a miraculous turnaround with 1:48 remaining and the Giants leading Houston 24-13, it will come down to Denver against San Diego tomorrow. And the Broncos would get the bye next week and home field advantage. Houston has the tiebreaker over Denver because of an earlier victory against the Broncos back in early October, but that would come into effect only if Denver loses tomorrow to San Diego. Second down and 3. And Moon able to complete to Givens down at the 11. Rick Jackson made the stop. Clock is running, and now we get the whistle for a timeout with 1:38 remaining.
Got some tension here because you got Givens is still, can he still get 1,000 yards? And Jeffries is sitting on 99 catches.
Our crack statistician, Mr. Stats, working under very difficult conditions.
What do you mean difficult conditions?
Well,
He's
you
getting paid,
pressure him.
No, he's getting paid, isn't he? Givens needs 8 yards. Jeffries 9 yards.
Come on, Paul, get it right.
I got to hit it. 9 yards, and then Haywood needs 1 catch.
Right. As I say, working under a great deal of pressure. So Haywood Jeffries with only 3 receptions today, in contrast to what took place when the Oilers were here at Giant Stadium to go up against the Jets back in October. He had a career high of 13 receptions. The Old Spice NFL Live postgame show coming up in Interviews with Joe Montana, Mike Ditka. First down at the 11. 1:38 remaining in the fourth.
Jeffrey.
And Moon for Jeffrey, so that is number 100. No flags on the play. Perry Williams made the stop. It is short of the first down, and he did get out of bounds, so the clock stopped with a minute and 32. Haywood Jeffries joining a select group. Art Monk, number 1, 106. Charlie Hennigan, Lionel Taylor, Jerry Rice, and now Jeffries.
That is really a wonderful accomplishment. And Haywood Jeffries, you know, he talked to us yesterday. He said, not only would I like to get the 100, but I would like to get the 106. Unless this thing goes into overtime and there's no chance of that, he's not going to do that.
Moon looking for Jeffries, and then went the other way for the touchdown. Ernest Givens open. He saw Jeffries was well covered, and now the Giant lead is 24-19 with a minute and 28 remaining in the fourth.
All right, Ernest Givens is going to come across the back of the end zone, and Moon just zips it. Look at this. The only sad part about this is that Ernest Givens, at this point, unless they can get the ball back, cannot get 1,000 yards. So they got Jeffries' 100 catches, and Givens will be short about 4 yards.
And Del Greco able to drill it through following the 5th touchdown reception of the season for Ernest Givens. 1:28, the important number. That's the time remaining in the fourth. So the Giants with a 24-20 lead on the Oilers. That's the offensive coordinator, Kevin Gilbride, in a discussion with Warren Moon. And the Giants a minute and 28 away from concluding their season. They'll be the first to go out following the Super Bowl championship. And you have to wonder how much shuffling will be done. Well, there's one man who undoubtedly will be back on plan B, Otis Anderson, who was thought to be finished on several occasions. He's fooled people, wants to play again next year. Certainly questions about number 55, Gary Reasons. The Giants, because of all their success, have not done much shuffling in recent years. George Young has certainly had the material. Maurice Carthen, another player who has to wonder what his future will be. This is a Giant club that has not done much in plan B, and they have not made a trade since they acquired Steve DeOssie back in 1989. But they have said that they'll be looking a little bit more actively at plan B, and even the WLAF. Here's the attempt, the squib kick by Del Greco, and let's see, Houston claiming they have it. The Giants say they have it.
Reasons, I think got it, and Houston had a shot at it. Houston legitimately had a shot at the ball, and the Giants got it. Here comes the ball. Watch the guys that run by the ball. Eugene Seal runs by. Reason gets the ball. Jackson's there. The ball is almost laid on the ground. It tops it, and here it comes, and it just pops up. Houston hits it first, which is an excellent play, but they don't get the ball. I think 94 is Montgomery. Does he hit it? There. Yes. And everybody went by the ball.
Houston with 2 timeouts remaining. Giants have all 3. Here's Hampton. And he is stopped. Picked up a couple on the play. Al Smith with the tackle, and now a timeout is taken. The clock is stopped with a minute 21 remaining, and the Oilers now down to a final stadium. A lot of pressure in terms of ticket requests.
Yeah, he didn't get too many this time. The last time when they played the Jets, he got a lot.
I believe he accounted for 45 tickets last time. Big hole for Hampton, and he has the first down.
And that does it. Even Phil Simms says that does it.
It has been a splendid day for Rodney Hampton. 28 carries, 140 yards. Coming up on the NFL Live postgame show, reaction from various members of the Denver Broncos to this Houston Oiler defeat. The clock is running down. We're 45 seconds remaining as Denver waiting at the airport for the conclusion of this game, and then they head to San Diego, and if they can win tomorrow, they will pick up the bye and home field advantage in the divisional playoffs. A very happy conclusion for Ray Handley. Not the case for Jack Pardee. Phil Simms went 15 for 17, 200 yards and a touchdown. Rodney Hampton 140 yards on the ground. The employee owners of Avis salute the game's MVP Phil Simms as the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL. A magnificent day for the 35-year-old Phil Simms as the Giants defeat the Houston Oilers by the score of 24-20. The Giants at 8 up and 8 down, and the Oilers at 11 and 5, and now wait to see what happens tomorrow between Denver and San Diego. Houston may be playing next week. If Denver loses, Houston, by virtue of the tiebreaker, will get the bye and home field advantage. Otherwise, they may face the Jets or Miami in the wild card next week. Marv Albert with Paul McGuire from Giant Stadium.
Well, the snow is piled high outside the Metrodome here in Minneapolis as the Green Bay Packers get set to play the Minnesota Vikings. The weather indoors is always perfect, and it is one more time today. Hi, I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden. And John, the papers say, and almost everyone else says, this is a meaningless contest. Nobody thinks it should be played. Someone said, in fact, they should choose up sides and play in a parking lot at 8 o'clock in the morning. But meaningless is not a term you think of when you play this game.
Nah, I've always said there's a game to be played, let's get it on. And anytime I've talked to a great player and I say, you know, what does this game mean? How do you do it? You're out of the playoffs. The guy always said, hey, look, there's only one way to play this game, and every time I go out on the field, that's the way I play it.
And particularly to one person today, it's not meaningless in any way. This is the last game for the head coach of the Vikings, Jerry Burns, who has announced his retirement, and we'll miss you. Here's the way he was introduced.
7 seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Burnsy, Coach Jerry Burns.
He will forever be a coach. This may be his last day as the head coach of the Vikings, but after 41 years, he'll always be one. Lindy Infante's future with the Green Bay Packers as their head man is, I guess, somewhat in doubt, somewhat certainly questionable. Earlier today, John Madden, my colleague, had a chance to speak with the new general manager of the Packers, Ron Wolf, and here's what he had to say.
I made a commitment to Lindy Infante when I was named general manager that I would wait till the season was over. I would come in as evaluation process and do that, and the evaluation process is continuing.
And then when's the evaluation process going to be over?
Very good question. It should be over after today's game.
So then whatever, I mean, you would probably make a decision and or an announcement in the next week?
I want to do anything I want to do before Christmas.
That sounds like it's pretty imminent. The Vikings kick off, the Packers kick off to the Vikings. Darren Nelson deep in the end zone, and he downs it there. Rich Gannon will run the machine for Minnesota. He has taken over perhaps as their quarterback of the future. Up in front of him, a fine offensive line. Zimmerman, McDaniel, Kirk Loudermilk, Kalis, Irwin, and the tight end Steve Jordan headed for the Pro Bowl. Terry Allen, Herschel Walker will open at the running backs. Chris Carter and Anthony Carter, the wide receivers. 1st and 10, Minnesota at their own 20. Carter split wide left. The two Carters to the right. Herschel Walker, the lone setback behind Gannon. And Herschel gets the carry. He got about 3 before he's knocked backwards. The Packer defense. They were insulted somewhat by the comments of the Vikings after they beat them earlier this year. Brock, Tuaolo, Robert Brown up front, Scott Stephen, Noble, Holland, and Bennett. There was doubt about Holland, but he's starting. Holmes, Butler, the corners. Chuck Cecil and Mark Murphy, the deep backs, although they don't always stay deep. Walker is split out this time, and Allen remains the lone running back. Here's Gannon back to put it up to Walker. Off his hands, off the defender, Murphy, and incomplete.
Yeah, when you talk about a quarterback drilling a ball to the receiver, I think Rich Gannon just drilled Herschel Walker. I think that ball hit him right in the head. What says it's going to go right through and doink him right in the face mask. Look at that, it hit him right there.
Hit him so hard in the head he had to come out of the game.
I know. Well, you have to clear your sinuses out, and he didn't even get his hands up until after the ball hit him in the head.
3rd and 7. Hassan Jones now in the core of wide receivers for Minnesota as they go with 3. Darren Nelson in the backfield. Here's Gannon back to throw it, and Doug. Chris Carter. Fumble, and the Packers come up with it. Jerry Holmes. Randall McDaniel finally got him down, but the Packers will take over in great shape.
That's the type of thing that the Packers were talking about. As you said, the last time they played, they were insulted by the Minnesota Vikings because the Vikings were able to run on them. And they said that they were going in this game, and they remembered that last one, and they were going to get after him defensively. He looked like he just laid it down. Yeah. He did. You see what he was trying to do? He was trying to reach it out to get the first down, and in reaching out, he just put the ball on the ground.
And they're going to hold things up to review it.
You know, that's one thing that Chris Carter did. You know, he always does some funny things with the ball. And I think this is one of them. Is the knee down? See, if the knee's down and the whistle blows before that ball goes out, it's not a fumble.
But in this case, the ground was not what caused the fumble or the artificial surface. It was his effort to get the first down, to stretch out.
Well, you know, they always have that term. The guy laid it on the carpet. Chris Carter literally laid the ball on the carpet. I don't think they have a rule for that one.
Play stands. Well, it should. Mike Tomczak, the quarterback, the former Bear who's found a home in Green Bay and has done an excellent job. Darrell Thompson, the lone setback. Woodside split out wide to the right. That's Thompson. Packers have been running the ball well of late. Out of bounds inside the 10 by Reggie Rutland. The Packers offensive line, Cheek, Moran, James Camp in the center, Hallstrom, Keith Euchre opening at right tackle. In place of Mandarich, Ed West is the fine tight end. Woodside, Darrell Thompson, Kemp, and Sharp the wide receivers. 2nd and 5.
Here's a guy who's had a heck of a year. 57 there, the left guard, Rich Moran.
Probably the best of any of the Packer offensive linemen. Thompson again hit in the backfield. First by Henry Thomas and Chris Dolman. Loss of 2. Here is the Minnesota defense. Randall, Clark, Thomas, and Dolman up front. The linebackers, Williams, Ray Berry in the middle, Merriweather on the outside, along the alternate linebackers who come in when they change defenses. The Packers Packers just beat him at the line of scrimmage. The Vikings just beat him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was just saying Rich Moran's done so well, and Thomas ran right by him.
Third down. Tomczak hammered to the turf. Mike Mays on a blitz.
And he comes up there, no one sees him, you see, because you don't see 23 in there yet, and he's not counted for. See him coming right up the middle right there. He's the guy that gets Tomczak. If a defensive back is up, on, or around the line of scrimmage, he will be countable. They'll count him to block him. If he's back more than 5 yards, they don't count him. They didn't count Mays that time, so he wasn't blocked.
Chris Jackie will try. And it's good from 42 yards away, and the Packers go on top 3-0.
I wish we could afford a minivan.
You can, dear.
Huh?
For $14,200, you can have the #1 minivan. Me.
Oh, sure, with no equipment.
Oh, nothing but air conditioning, automatic transmission, minivan, airbag, power steering and brakes, choice of warranty.
I could kiss you.
Please. You're a married man.
Plymouth Voyager, an intelligent machine.